Hey guys, Muzzinger here, bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And so I made a video not too long ago talking about these two units right here, the AGL LR Carnival JIREN and the STR Dokkan Fest Master Roshi. These are the two only, I guess you would call premium releases, right? A Carnival LR and a Dokkan Fest. The only releases that Global does not have now that we have entered the era of the sync, I guess we've been calling it, or I've called it a few times, whatever. The games are synced now, essentially, right? So the release schedules going forward, everything that comes out that is new in terms of units releasing is coming out on both versions at the same time. But these two units are not out on Global, and we know from the producer letter a little while ago where they talked about the full finalization of the implementation of the sync, that the units not yet available on Global would all be released by the end of the year. So I did a video where we looked over the timeline and basically tried to determine where there would be a spot that would be good for these units to come out based on a bunch of information that we had from last year. And then of course we had some very interesting news today. Shout out to Drace in the Discord for posting this. I hadn't even noticed because obviously I'm not used to looking at the news on the JP side, especially now that stuff is coming out at the same time. But if we switch over to, this isn't gonna fit on this view, is it? There we go. So if we switch over to this view, this is just a screenshot taken from, I believe, from Dokkan Info, but this is from the news section going over the actual info that's been added to the celebration for, I guess you would call it like part 2, even though there's not like a separate section in the news. It's not called like part 2. They've just updated it with new stuff, right? If you go into there, you can obviously see on Global that the sales that released today to go along with the release of the Gohan and Piccolo banner, you can see here, are on sale from today, Wednesday the 16th, until Tuesday the 22nd. Now that is only like a week. It was like less than a week really, because if you look at the start and end time, it is basically 6 days, right? So 6 days from now, Tuesday the 22nd at what's going to be like 5 o'clock. I think we're in British Standard Time +1 now, I think, right? So 6 o'clock, because the sales come out at the same time as the banner. So at almost 6 o'clock on Tuesday morning next week, these sales are going to end, which, you know, there'll be nothing out of the ordinary with that. However, if we take a look at the news from the JP side, we can see here that the sales started again Wednesday the 16th at 5 British Standard Time, but they end Tuesday the 29th at, well, actually it's later as well, it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So the sales are actually active on JP for a week and almost like half a day longer than they are active on Global. So there's got to be a reason for this, right? Like if we're having the same releases, the new unit just came out, the Part 2 LR. People want to be able to grab stones to summon for them, if they are going to summon, of course. Obviously for Global you have the option to get the ticket packs and stuff like that, but JP has the sales available for an extra week. So when you think about it, there's probably only really one reason for this, and that is that something else is going to release on Global on Tuesday the 22nd of October, and a new set of sales is going to start on Tuesday at 5 British Standard Time, and then those sales will go from Tuesday the 22nd at 5 British Standard Time to Tuesday the 29th. So there will be a week of this other set. So we've got a week with a set of sales for the Gohan and Piccolo LR, and then essentially we'll be getting a week of another set of sales, which of course means something else is coming out, right? There's almost no time. We talk about sometimes when we haven't had the data downloads yet and we're trying to pinpoint exactly when stuff is going to come out. We often go by the end of sales and things like that because Dokkan doesn't like to have no sales active for longer than like a day. Sometimes there's like a almost 24-hour period between like one part ending and like the part 2 starting and stuff like that. But the big thing that they always do, even if the sales have ended the day previously, is that whenever a new banner comes out, a new set of sales come out at the same time, right? Because people who spend, there are people in that sort of mid-tier dolphins, or like mini whales, whatever you want to call them, who will buy the sale pack priced stones, but not full price ones, right? So every time a new banner comes out, there's always a few sale packs available, and people will pick those up and summon for the new unit. So I think that we are definitely going to see something happen on Tuesday the 22nd. Now, when it comes to whether or not it would be JIREN or ROSHI, there is no real way to know, right? Like this early on, neither one of them obviously fits really like the theme of the celebration. I mean, I guess with the Part 2 LR that we've just gotten, like the fact that these guys are on Bond of Master and Disciple, I suppose has some like connection to the Piccolo and Gohan LR, whereas I don't think we could really say that JIREN does at all, nor does he have any sort of connection to the Namek Vegeta from Part 1. But I guess it doesn't really matter, right? They're just trying to fit these things in to kind of shore up the schedule so that we have all of this stuff by the end of the year. Now, in terms of which would be the most beneficial for like global players, like for us to get, the LR JIREN release does bring with it the final stages of the Universe Survival Saga Blue Zone, as well as, I believe, some EZAs that we don't have on global yet, like the Tech Android 17 and 18 from the Tournament of Power, Skinny Boo. There's a couple of characters as well. All that stuff came out around the same time, or as part of the celebration, where Part 2 of the Tanabata essentially on JP, where the Carnival LR JIREN released. And then ROSHI, I think his celebration has like the Videl EZA, it has the Peppy Gals event that has the Bulma stage, which is one of the hardest stages on JP at the moment. Essentially, either one of these characters that comes out should hopefully be bringing with them some other content, including EZAs, but also one of the two difficult stages that JP has that global currently does not. So honestly, regardless of which one it is, these guys coming to global very soon would definitely be beneficial, because we have been kind of stuck in this situation on global as we moved into the sync, where obviously missing some of the stuff like that is on JP is most noticeable when it comes to those toughest events in the game, right? Because even with like pulling the worldwide characters, right, you get the Broly units, you get the crazy Broly team and how fun that team is to use, and then the hardest events we have to do on global is like the Blue Gogeta and Beast like blue zones. We've only got up to stage 4, which is the Blue Evolution Blue Evolution Vegeta, that starts off with the Kaioken Goku and Blue Evolution Vegeta as like phase 1. That's only stage 4 of the Universe Survival Saga Blue Zone, and that's obviously the latest one that we have on global. So I think it's going to be good either way, regardless of which one of these two units that we do get. Obviously, once we know a little bit more, I will talk about them. If one of them does get confirmed, obviously we'll do like a summon or skip video. I'll go over my thoughts on their banner and things coming up in the near future. I know there's some people in the community, I've already seen comments on like the previous video, who are excited for either ROSHI or JIREN, but looking back at the schedule, like you can see when I talked about in that other video, this point here, as we got to roughly where we are now, right, we had our EZA like a couple of days early, that was the Nail and the Goku, no premium actual Dokkan Fest EZA. And then you can see here the Part 2 LR was the 19th of October last year, the 16th today. And then we have a World Tournament like that same week basically, which is what we're getting here now as well. The World Tournament is starting on the 18th. And then if we scroll down, like we got the Halloween stuff, which is basically just a free-to-play farmable unit. There was a burst mode EZA for like the previous one, so we should get the EZA for the launch and Oolong card this year. But the next actual proper release was the 31st of October. So the Part 2 LR came out on the 19th, and then nothing came out until the 31st. So that was like, what, 12 days? So that's one of the things I speculated in that other video, that they could use this gap in order to bring something out, which means that for global players, we've had the Part 2 LR come out today. The World Tournament's going to start on Friday. It then ends Monday morning, and then Tuesday morning we get the release of either JIREN or ROSHI, before we then move on to around about the 26th, where we get the Halloween stuff. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Like I said at the beginning, there has to be a reason why the sales last a week less on global than they do on JP. And realistically, the only assumption we can come to is that something else must be coming out for global. Otherwise, why would they end the sales early and then but have nothing else happen, right? Like if the two games were just exactly the same, no new banner came out on Tuesday, but just all of a sudden global doesn't have any sales live and JP doesn't really make a huge amount of sense, right? So the only thing that makes sense to me for why they would do this is because these sales are ending so that they can throw in a bunch of new sales. Because I mean, this is the thing, the same thing happened in the lead up to the worldwide celebration after the anniversary for global, where we just got spammed with an absolute avalanche of banners. And you know, I know not everybody, even people who spend, like even myself, right, can't keep up with, like, just because there's a new banner coming out and a new set of sales doesn't mean you can just jump in and buy them all. But obviously that is their logic behind when they drop these units and these banners, is they want to drop sales with them to entice people into buying stones, right? So the only reason that the sales would end early on global is so that they can be replaced with more, because a new banner is going to come out. Otherwise, like I said, we would just have a situation where there are no sales active on global, but there are on JP, even though the exact same banners are out on both versions, which wouldn't really make a lot of sense. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. What do you think we will see on Tuesday the 22nd? Will it be Roshi? Will it be JIREN? I mean, I feel like we pretty much know at this point, because of the sync and the way it's going, that there is not going to be like global firsts anymore. This isn't going to be another one of those situations where, you know, like we get to Tuesday and then all of a sudden it's like, you know, the global first Goku Black scenario where we just get some random new unit that we've never seen before and are not expecting, because of course that would absolutely be incredibly counterproductive to the entire point of like the sync, right? So it's got to be JIREN or Roshi. We know that they have to be coming out before the end of the year, and something certainly it seems is going to be happening on Tuesday. So let me know what you guys think it is going to be. Which of the two would you rather it be? For any reason, I'm sure some people would rather it be one of the units because they want to summon for them, and other people would rather it be one of the units because they don't want to summon for them and know that that is then like an easy skip, right? But let me know your thoughts on both of these guys and what you think is going to happen on Tuesday. Do you think there's absolutely no relevance whatsoever with the sales? I would find that very difficult to believe that anyone would think that, but let me know your thoughts on all of this down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out all the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.